こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強しています。質問があれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings, everyone. Today we are studying Japanese. If you have any questions, then feel free to stop and ask me at any time. We're going to be continuing with Immersion with Card Captor Sakura.
Yamiの力を秘めし鍵よ、真の姿を我の前に示せ。契約のもと、さくらが命じる。レディー！あの剣に当たったらシャレにならんで。ソードのカードの威力は持ち主の心次第や。あの剣に当たったらシャレにならんで。ソードの
ソードのカードの
威力は
something, okay, は
持ち主の心。
モチ。
あの剣に当たったらシャレにならんで。ソードのカードの威力は持ち
威力 power, might, authority, influence. Let's see, intimidate, dignity, majesty, menace, threaten, and then power. 威力は持ち主。Let's see, owner, proprietor, possessor. Oh, sorry, this is to have and then lord and chief. Mochi Nushi. Let's see, no Kokoro Shidai. Shidaya. Shidai. Depending on, let's see, suffix, let's say as soon as, immediately, after, upon, whatever, order, program, precedent, circumstances. So the sword cards might, let's see, the owner's heart. Okay, this is obviously being used like a noun, so it has to be course, event, state of things. Owner's hearts, orders, reason. explain the grammar of this Paramite, okay. Let's see. Mochi Nushi means owner, possessor, okay. So heart, spirit, mind. The crucial grammar point here is that shidai, a noun suffix meaning depending on, up to, or at the mercy of. It indicates that the outcome is entirely contingent upon the preceding factors. In this context, it asserts that the card's power is not fixed but varies based on the owner's mental state. So, Soro no Kado Iroku wa Mochi Nushi no Kokoro. So the owner's hearts. So depending on the owner's heart. So the power, might, okay, authority of the sword depends on the owner's heart. So Soru no Kado no Iroku wa, let's see. Soru no Kado no Iroku wa Mochi Nushi, okay. Soru no Kado no Iroku wa Mochi Nushi no Kokoro Shidai ya.
あの剣に当たったらシャレにならんで。ソードのカードの威力は持ち主の心次第や。切らんとこ思ったら峰打ちもできるし。
Let's see. Kiran Toko. Let's see. Kiran Toko Omotada.
思ったら峰打ちもできるし。その騎士の心次第や。切らんとこ思ったら峰打ちもできるし。ソードのカードの威力は持ち主の心次第や。切らんとこ思ったら峰打ちも。
Minucci. Striking with the back of the sword. Kidan, okay. Wait, so not cut place. Let's see, if I thought not cut place. Let's see. Minucci mo Dekiru, striking with the see. Explain the grammar of see. Kiru to cut, and then let's see. No, okay, contraction of nai, okay, meaning. Okay, toko, contraction of tokoro. So, kiran toko, the point situation of not cutting is, let's see, avoiding cutting. Let's see, omo tada, think tada, conditional suffix meaning if, okay. So omo tada, a dialect common in kansai conjugation of omot tada. Let's see. So if you're thinking about not cutting, let's see. Mi Mineuchi. Mineuchi mo dekiru. Let's see. In a general sense, it can mean peak strike or top hit. In specific contexts like baseball, martial arts, or slang, it might refer to a specific type of strike or action. Without more context, it literally means peak strike. Okay, mo also even dekiru, potential for suru, able to do. And shi, conjunctive particle, meaning besides, because, used for listing reasons.
シャレならんで。ソードのカードの威力は持ち主の心次第や。切らんとこ思たら
Kiran toko omotara. Let's see. Kiran toko omotara. Mineuchi. Let's see, what is that made from, by the way? Mineuchi. Summit, peak, strike. Okay. Utsu. Okay, to hit the strike. Okay. Transitive. Okay. Mineuchi mo. So, Kiran toko omotara. Mineuchi. Okay. Kiran toko omotara. Mineuchi. Okay. Kiran toko omotara. Mineuchi mo dekiru shi.
ソードのカードの威力は持ち主の心次第や。切らんとこ思たら峰打ちもできるし、その気になったら。
その気になったら。 let's see if this helps with the translation of the previous sentence. Sonaki, what one has, let's see, what one has a mind to do, what one feels like doing. So, if it becomes what one has a mind to do, what? Let's see. Translate says if you don't want to cut, you can strike with the flat of the blade, and if you really want to. Mm. The power, if you get hit by the sword, it won't be a joke. The power of the sword depends on the heart of the wielder. See, if I don't intend to cut, I can strike with the flat of the blade, but if I get serious... Get hit by the sword, it won't be a joke. The power of the sword card depends on the heart of its master. If he doesn't intend to cut, he can strike with the flat of the blade, but if he gets serious... Oh, so Kiran Toko Omotara, so if not cut in place, in other words, if there's no intention to cut, okay, I see what they're saying. Kiran Toko Omotara, so if you're thinking about not cutting in place, in other words, if there's no intention to cut, wait, so Tokoro could mean intention? Scene, spot, place, address, district, once. So, Kiran Toko Omotara. let's see, Mineuchi. Let's see. Let's see. So in other words, if there's a thought of not cutting, or if there's an intention of not cutting, Mineuchi mo dekiru is able to strike with the back of the sword, or basically a non-sharp part of the sword. Sono ki ni nattara. See, the translating this last part is, but if they get serious. So sono ki. Let's see, it gets translated to, if you really want to. How does sono ki ni nattara translates to if they decide to get serious? Let's see, sono ki, the spirit, the mind. In this context, it is an idiom meaning the mood, the intention, the seriousness. To do something specific, often something dangerous, romantic, or significant. It implies a switch in mindset from passive to active. See, ni nattara comes from the verb naru. It means if or when one becomes. Let's see, Kiro-chan is contrasting the passive state of intending not to cut with an active lethal state. Getting serious captures the nuance that the wielder must consciously switch his mindset to unleash the cards. No. Literal translation: if he becomes the mood or state of mind. Okay, in that mood or state of mind. Natural translation: if he decides to get serious. So, Hiran toko omou tara. Let's see. Mineuchi. Kiran tokoro o omou tara. Mineuchi. Mo dekiru shi.
だったら峰打ちもできるし、あの剣に当たったらシャレにならんで。ソードのカードの威力は持ち主の心次第や。切らんとこ思ったら峰打ちもできるし、その気になったら。
その気になったら、so その気になったら or so if they decide to get serious. So in total, this has a meaning of so if they're thinking about not going, if they're in the place of thinking about not, if they're in a not cutting place, in other words, if they're thinking about not cutting, they can hit with the striking with the back of the sword. They're able to strike with the back of the sword. However, if they become serious,
今でも切れる。今でも切れる。
今でもできる。今 rock boulder. So kireru, or able to cut. So if they get serious, then iwa demo kireru, they're able to cut a boulder.
Iwa demo kireru. でもリカちゃんを攻撃なんてできないよ。今でも切れる。
でもリカちゃんを
でもリカちゃんを攻撃なんて
攻撃なんてできないよ。攻撃 attack, assault, raid, onslaught. See, but let's see. Suppose I am not able to do something like attacking Rika-chan. So demo Rika-chan wo kogeki nante dekinai yo. Let's see. Explain the grammar of this. We good to see Nante's explanation again. Okay. Nante is the emotional core sentence. It attaches the noun phrase Rika-chan wo kogeki. It functions as content surprise or strong denial. It lowers the status of the preceding phrase, treating it as something absurd, unworthy, or unthinkable. It translates roughly to something like, or such a thing as, or the very idea of. Let's see, what is Nante from? Let's see, it has two primary etymological origins depending on how it's used. Okay, wait. When used to mean things like such as, or to express contempt or dismissal, non-domain and so forth, and such things. And, okay, tote, an archaic particle combination meaning even if, or that kind of thing. So over time, nando tote fused and shifted phonetically to nante. See, the origin explains why it is often used below the status of a noun or treated as merely as one example among, meaning often with a negative or humble nuance. So nando particle, etc., and like so and so forth and something, okay? For example, for instance, and then tote, even if, so even if blah 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 blah, for instance, blah 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 kind of things. So, demo Rika-chan wo kougeki nante dekinai yo. Or more literally like, but Rika, let's see, Rika-chan, let's see, even things like attacking, I'm unable to do. In other words, I'm unable to do things like attacking Rika-chan. So, demo Rika-chan wo kougeki nante dekinai yo. Let's see, it came from Nado, okay. And Tote.
今でも切れる。
Okay, and I will continue that other explanation. The second usage of nante is when it comes from non-toiu. Literally what is called or what kind of. When used as an exclamation meaning what a or how beautiful, it derives from non-toiu. So what is called or what kind of.
でもリカちゃんを攻撃なんてできないよ。ほなはよ逃げんと。でもリカちゃんを攻撃なんてできないよ。ほなはよ。
Hona hayo nigento. See, nigeru. So nigen would be short for nigenai. So not able to run. Let's see, hona so well. Let's see, hayo nigento. Can you have wa after this? Is this the wa particle? Let's see. Explain the grammar of. Konnichiwa, Maximum Midnight. Genki desu ka? Let's see. Ohayo gozaimasu, my brother. Konnichiwa. Okay, so then, so in that case, okay, it is a colloquial contraction of sore dewa or honara. It serves as a conjunction to transition to the next action or conclusion. Hayo. Quickly, hurry, soon. This is a dialectic adverb common in Kansai and Shikoku regions for hayaku. It modifies the verb that follows, indicating urgency. So hayoku is just hayo, okay? So okay, let's see. The verbs to nigeru, to escape. Okay, contraction of. No, I don't think that's supposed to be no. Let's see, to. In many Western dialects like Kansai, nto is used to express volition, or let's, or obligation. Let's see, if it is the equivalent to the standard Japanese yo, volitional, then let's see, then na ke let's see, nakereba naranai. Let's see, so this is Kansai Ben. So is these, let's see, the standard form of hayoku, or the word hayoku, or is this the standard form in a different conjugation? Okay, so it is hayaku. Okay, not another conjugation. See, nigento. So standard equivalent at nigeyo, or nigenai. Oh, let's see, or nigenai to. Let's see, nigenai to ikenai, must escape. Okay, so it can either mean like let's escape, or then we need to okay, let's run, or in other words, or we see, consonant nuance. The nto is the key grammatical mark of consonant. It's a contraction of, let's see, of nai to ikenai, or nakereba naranai. Literally, it combines the negative stem nigen plus to. In this context, it expresses a strong sense of obligation or urgent volition. It translates to "we must run" or "let's run." Okay, so this nigento can either mean nigeyo if meant more in the evolutional sense, or can mean nigenai to ikenai, in other words, we must run, or nige nakereba, nige nakereba ikimasen, or naranai, whichever one's appropriate. In this case, I believe it's ikimasen. Another one for we have to run, or you should run. Or actually more like you must run. So, hana hayo nigento. You can think of this more literally as like with not running. In other words, if we don't run, because since that often gets used as a question things. In other words, you have to run. Hona hayo nigento.
今でも切れる。でもリカちゃんを攻撃なんてできないよ。ほなはよ逃げんと。でもリカちゃん放っておけないよ。リカちゃんを攻撃なんてできないよ。ほなはよ逃げんと。
でもリカちゃん。
リカちゃん放っておけない。
放って、let's see. 放っておけないよ。Honatsu, to fire, to be set free, to emit, to send out. I think to be set free is probably the meaning she intends. So demo, Rika-chan, hanate, let's see, okenai yo. Oh, let's see. I know ikenai would make sense, in other words, not able to do. But why okenai? Explain the grammar of Oh, it's from oku, as in to put in place. So, let's see. Okeru is able to put in place. Okenai is not able to put in place. Okay. So then, not able to put in place, releasing her, so. But, I won't be able to free Rika-chan, or in other words, more literally, demo, or Rika-chan, release, not able to put in place. So, demo, Rika-chan. Let's see. Hanate from Hanatsu. Demo, Rika-chan, hanate okinai yo.
でもリカちゃんを攻撃なんてできないよ。ほなはよ逃げんと。でもリカちゃん放っておけないよ。
I think that was your y. Yeah, your y.
Why?
Why does it seem like he's saying something else?
Why?
In a way, your y or weak, essentially.
Sakura! もうちょっとでこっちがやられるとこだったんだぞ。でもリカちゃんがもうちょっとで
もうちょっと Let's see. Let's see. Already. So a little bit. Let's see. もうちょっとでこっちがlet's see. やられる。Let's see. やる is to do. やられる would be receive doing. So as for in this direction, let's see, receive doings. So with this directions receive doing, oh no, that's toko. Okay, okay. Yareru toko. So this directions. Let's see. This directions receive doing place. Datan to have been so was explain the grammar of this. Mo choto de phrase means almost or just about. It indicates an event was on the verge of happening but did not actually occur. Mo, a little more, almost mo. The particle de is indicating the point in time or the state in which the near miss occurred. Okay, so the time de. See, so already a little bit. Let's see. Okay, in other words, mo choto, so a little further essentially is probably the way to think of it. Mo choto. Then yarare, okay, yarareru Yaru to do. Wait, Yaru can also mean defeat? Yarareru to suffer damage to be deceived. Okay. Now it's being confused by the passive form. Yaru. To do, to undertake, to perform, to send, to put, to move, to turn. Okay. To give, to make, to run, to practice, to have, to hold, to ease, to harm, to live, to do broadly. Okay. Let's see, so to do completely. Kochi this way, this direction. So a little further, let's see. Oh, that's why it was there. What for dev with time, if you're talking about the time to get something done and you're being like not the time something's done at, but the time to get something done, like saying 1 hour, for example. You use dad. So in this case, he just needed a little bit further time to get the activity done, and so that's why they're using day here instead of ni. Because, like, for example, if you're gonna do something at 2 o'clock, you would use ni. But if you're gonna say the activity you're doing is gonna take 30 minutes, it's gonna use day. See, kochi ga this direction is receive doing. Toko from Tokoro, okay. Tokoro date was about to do verb. Oh, was on the verge of. Let's see. Let's see. The translator says we were this close to getting taken out. Let's see. Mo chotto de kochi ga. So receive do. Let's see. Let's see. Receive. Doing. Let's see. Receive doing in our. Let's see. Receive doing in our direction place. Learning the grammar of yarareru more. In competitive scenarios, sports, games, fightings, yarareru is the standard colloquial way to say to lose, to get beaten, to be eliminated. It implies the subject was on the receiving end of an opponent's actions. Uri wa yarareta. I got beaten, I lost. The original sentence, Kochi ga yarareru tokodata, it meant I was about to be defeated. To suffer damage or be deceived. Beyond physical defeat, it describes suffering a negative outcome, financial loss, or being tricked. To get the sword and the stick, okay, let's see. To be done to. General passive. Literally, it is a passive of to do. It means an action was performed on the speaker, often with a nuance of annoyance or helplessness. The adversative passive. Okay, something happened to me and I didn't want or expect. Okay, kaze de yarareru. Let's see, to be laid low by a cold, to suffer from a cold. Remember, kaze in addition to win is also how you say a cold. It's a different kanji though. So, mochi chotto de kochi ga yareru tokoro datta. So it was that so that it with just a little more, a little further, and we would have received being in our direction. We would have had something done to us. We would have been in a place in which something would have been done to us. In other words, we could have been, so I guess you could translate either of, we could have been hurt, injured, killed. He doesn't really specify, but basically something negative could have happened to them, just a little further. So mochi mo chotto de kochi ga yareru toko dattanda.
もうちょっとでこっちがやられるとこだったんだぞ。
リカちゃんに怪我させちゃダメ。
もうちょっとでこっちがやられるとこだったんだぞ。
リカちゃんに怪我させちゃダメ。So, okay, 怪我 or injury. So, saseru, which gets conjugated to sasete. So saseru, kega sasete is to cause injury. And then this is conjugated to the connective form sasete. And this cha is just nothing more than te wa. So the te gets dropped, the wa gets dropped, and you see cha there. So in other words, towards Rika-chan, causing injury is bad. In other words, we can't cause injury to Rika-chan. See, Rika-chan ni kega sasecha dame.
もうちょっとでこっちがやられるとこだったんだぞ。
リカちゃんに怪我させちゃダメ。お嬢ちゃんが一瞬でもええからソードからええねんけど。
もうちょっとでこっちがやられるとこだったんだぞ。
リカちゃんに怪我させちゃダメ。お嬢ちゃんが一瞬
ojo-chan. お嬢ちゃんが一瞬でもええから一瞬 so one moment, instant moment for an instant. So that lady's let's see, for a moment is good. What? Let's see, even if it's just for a moment, that young lady's ojo-chan ga ishun de demo e kara
ちゃんに怪我させちゃダメ。あのお嬢ちゃんが一瞬でもええからソードから手離してくれたらええねんけど。
see, Soro kara
あのお嬢ちゃんが一瞬でもええからソードから手離してくれたらええ。
tehana kara soda kara tehanashite kuretara enen kedo let's see. Hanasu to part divide to keep parts separate. Hanashite uh uh kuretara so if 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 you release, let's see, if you release, if you give, let's see, if you give releasing, oh, this probably supposed to be a wool after this te, so if you let's see, if you give releasing of the hand, it would be good. In other words, if you could, let's see, I just wish the girl would let go of the sword even for a second. Explain the grammar of this. See, let's say I just wish the girl would let go of the sword even for a moment. It would be great if the girl would just let go of the sword for a second, but okay, so the sentence expresses a strong desire or frustration regarding the specific action, letting go of the sword by the third party, that girl, okay. Let's see, A comes from E, okay. 一瞬でもいいから instant, pardon me, even if, okay. Here it emphasizes that any amount of time, no matter how short, is acceptable. The Kansai dialect equivalent of in standard Japanese, meaning good, fine. Kara usually means because. Okay, this is the from. It functions as so since providing the rationale for the following request. So more literally, I think it's saying something like, that girl, it would be good even if for a moment, from that, let's see, even from a moment, sword, let's see, sword kara, let's see, so let's see, if that girl, it would be good even for a moment, let's see, from that sword, okay, from that, okay, then from sword, hand, let's see, hand gave letting, if the hand gave letting go, it would be good. Benefactive action, okay, the core request lies on the tab from kureru. Like, let's see, tab banasu, a compound verb. Okay, so that is, okay, so there is no wool there. That is actually the one word, okay. Te banasu, meaning to let go, to release, or to remove one's hands. See the te form. See kureru, a verb meaning to give. When attached to the te form, okay, of another verb, it indicates someone else is performing an action. So tada, conditional meaning if, okay, combined. Te banashite kure tada means if she would do me the favor of letting go, or if she could just let go for my sake, or in their case, their sake. Emphasis conclusion. So, good. Okay, nin. A sentence ending a particle characteristic of concept dialect, standard nda or noda. It adds emphasis, explains situations, or asserts a fact. Here it emphasizes the speaker's feeling that the action would indeed be good. Kedo, but means okay. Standard versions, okay, sounds polite and somewhat distant. The Kansai version sounds more emotive, direct, and familiar. It conveys a sense of immediate frustration or plea from someone who is personally affected by the girl holding the sword. Okay. Let's see. Desired action. Soro kara te banashite kure taru. if she would do me the favor of letting go of the sword. Let's see, constraint. 一瞬でもいいから since even an instant is fine. Oh, okay, I see. So, okay, that makes sort of more sense. Since even in an instant, so that girl, since even an instant is fine if she would just let go of the sword. Okay. Conclusion. En kiddo. Okay. So let's see. It would be a good idea. So if they was able to let go. So here's the question: why is kata used for the object to mark what the verb's interacting with? See, the structure effectively communicates condition met, action performed by others, speaker equals good outcome, followed by a pragmatic particle indicating the reality does not match the ideal scenario. So, why is the noun the verb interacts with denoted with kata the phrase soda kata te banasu. Okay, the kata particle is used instead of the standard object marker wo because of the specific nuance of separation or point of origin. The primary function of kata is to mark a starting point or source, meaning from. The verb te banasu literally means to release one's hands or to let go. It describes the action of moving one's hands away from a specific location. Why not wo? The particle wo typically marks the direct object that is being acted upon or moved. Soda o motsu, or hold the sword. Why kata? When you let go, you aren't acting on the sword to change it. You are moving your hand away from the sword. The sword is the location of separation. Therefore, kata marks the sword as the point from which the hand is being removed. Oh, is... Tebanashi. Let's see. Tebanashi. Or tebanasu. Let's see. It is tebanasu transitive or intransitive? Let's see. Okay, it's a transitive verb, okay. So, soru kara tebanashite kuretara inen kedo. So, let's see. Ano Ojo-chan. Okay, Ano Ojo-chan ga ishun demo kara sodo kara tebanashite kuretara enen kedo. So, if that girl even for a moment would be good, would release the sword, it would be good. It's probably a more closer literal meaning to it. Or no, or I should probably say in English, if only she would release the sword just for a moment, it would be good. Or just if only she would release it for a moment.
あのお嬢ちゃんが一瞬でもええからソードから手離してくれたらええねんけど。さくらちゃんどないして
どないしてSakura-chan, okay. Let's see, donai is kansai ben for either do or dona. Usually donai shite would be what are you doing, but oh, this could just be the interrogative no on the end. Let's see. Let's see. Explain the grammar of oh, shiten is Kansai dialect contraction for shiteru, which itself is a casual contraction of shiteru. So in other words, because she's already in the start of doing it, they're using the of what she's doing. They're using the continuous form. So in other words, what are you doing? Okay, so shiteru is set as shiten. Okay. If you heard donai shiten, it's likely a contraction of how are you doing or what are you doing? Okay. Standard Japanese would be let's see. Do yatte shite imasu ka? Do yatte shite imasu ka? Okay. Donai shiten. You can see how much Kansai Ben is a lot more contracted than even standard Japanese casual speech.
てくれたらええねんけど。さくらちゃんどないしてともよちゃんとリー君お願い。
Tomoya-chan to Lee-kun wo onegai. Let's see. Please take care of Tomoya and Lee. Let's see. Explain the grammar of see is an elliptical polite request meaning please have Tomoya Chan and Lee Kun do something for us or help us. Let's see. let's see. The object particle here marks the person being requested. In this context, the verb is omitted. It's the only guy. The noun. Let's see, the noun form of the verb nagao, meaning to request, as. The core grammar here is elliptical construction. The full sentence would be Tomoya-chan to Lee-kun wo onegai shimasu. Okay, in polite Japanese, when an action is implied by context, inviting, hiring, or assigning tasks, the verb onegai shimasu is often shortened to just onegai, or just onegai shimasu to drop entirely in the context. If the context is clear, leaving wo. Okay, so wo onegai, a concise way to say please do X for Tomoyo-chan and Lee. This structure is common in social and business. Okay, please do X for Tomoyo and Lee. Okay, this structure is common in social and business contexts where you're speaking, where you're asking someone to arrange or invite. So in other words, I guess, so please take care of Tomoyo-chan and Lee-kun. So Tomoyo-chan to Lee-kun wo onegai. Tomoyo-chan to Lee-kun wo onegai.
ねんけどさくらちゃんどないしてともよちゃんとリー君お願い。
あのバカ。
Ano baka, that idiot.
あのバカ。
黙ってみとれ。
あのバカ。
Oh, I think the verb implied in this case was to please keep Tomoyo-chan and Lee-kun out of this.
あのバカ。
See, like ite basically comes from itai, which is painful, sore, essentially. So ite.
黙ってみとれ。
あのバカ。
黙ってみとれ。
Chamate mi tore. Damete from dameru. To be silent, to say nothing. Dameru, okay. Damesu. Intransitive, to be silent. That's interesting. Oh, intransitive. Yeah. Su one that's intransitive. Usually it's the other way around. Oh, wait, it says they're both intransitive. That can't be right. Is Damasu. Oh, modasu. Okay. Modasu. Modasu. To transitive. Anyway, damate, so to be silent, to say nothing. So, damate mi toreru, to be fascinated, to be captivated by, to be enchanted by, to gaze admirably. Okay. Mi toreru. Let's see. Explain the grammar of this. I think he's trying to say, like, be quiet and watch. Mi tore. This is a dialectal colloquial contraction of mitoke. Mitokeo, the base for miru, to see, to watch. Mitoke, imperative form. Let's see. Mito is the imperative form of mitoru, which is a Kansai dialect or colloquial variant of miteiru. Oh yeah, so miteiru in Kansai Ben is miteoru, which is mitoru. So it's basically, let's see, it's the equivalent of miteire. So damate, okay. The use of mi tore instead of the standard imperative mito or miyo adds specific nuance. It adds emphasis on continuous aspect of keeping watch. It carries a masculine, rough, and authoritative tone often used in manga, anime, or among close friends in certain regions like Kansai. So explain how. Explain how the imperative of mi 見ている becomes 見とけ Let's see, iru to oru, okay, yes. So mitoru becomes mitoru, okay, yes. And then ru verb imperative. Okay, let's see. Once the form becomes mitoru, it functions grammatically as a go-down verb. Okay, mitoru. Let's see. To form the imperative of the go, replace the final u sound with e. So ru will become re. Imperative ending e or ke due to rendaku phonetic flow from mito ke. Okay. But the search results confirm that teiru becomes toru in Kansai. This imperative form toru is tore. Okay. So mitoru becomes mitore. So why mitoke? The form mitoke is actually an imperative of mitoku, which is a contraction of miteoku. Oh, so in other words, put in place watching, essentially, or in other words, so he's saying be quiet and put in place watching, or in other words, be quiet and watch. So mitoke, it's doing a command form, so mitoku becomes mitoke. So damete, so be silent and watch. Damete mitore, damete mitore. Wait, this is re. Where did this K come from? Let's see, mite iru. So, then imperative form mite ire. So, okay. Then mitore from the contraction. Wait, no, it would be mite ore. No, mite oru. Oh yeah, and then imperative would be mite ore. So, mitore. Damate, mitore, or in other words, be quiet and watch.
あのバカ。
黙って見とれい。歯の者が一番強く思う者の姿を映し出せ。
このものが鹿のものが一番強くそう。Let's see. Let's see. Ichiban. Let's see. So number one, strongly. Omu. Let's see. Think person. Let's see. So see. Let's see. It's either thing or person, so have this, okay, have it think it's the strongest person. And let's see, strongest person form. Let's see, does it come out? That looks like it has to do with, like, projections. Oh, I think she's trying to say something about, like, like to show the person that they think of the most or something. Let's see, mono, kano, that, those. Let's see, the one and only. Those, the Ichiban Tsuyoku, strong. So, number one, strongly thought of person's form. Utsushi dase. I was having trouble with command form. Utsushi dasu, to project, to show. And this is come out, and this is utsusu. Let's see, utsusu. To project. So to project and come out would be to project and coming out would mean to show. To project, to show, okay. Utsushi dasu. So explain the grammar of kono mono ga ichiban tsuyoku omou mono. Relative clause modifying the head noun, okay. Kono mono, that person or that entity, often referring to a spirit, apparition, or third part, okay. Ichiban tsuyoku, the strongest, or most intensely. So, most intensely what? Most intensely thought. Omou. And then thought person, okay. No sugatas, form appearance, and then so projected. So projected appearance of the person she thinks of the most. Okay, this translator says it's show me the image of the person that she thinks of the most deeply. Okay, so she thinks of the strongest, okay. Not necessarily the most as in quantity of time, but thinks of most as in the most strongly. Now, why is kono used here, though? Why is kono used here? I mean kano, not kono, but kano. Kano is used here in this context, likely a spell, command, or ritual phrase. Kano mono refers to that person or that specific entity. So using konomono would imply using konomono would imply the entity is right here next to the speaker, which changes the meaning. Kano adds the nuance of distance, mystery, or specific identification of a known but absent subject. So it means sort of like Kono, but Kano has an implication of if they're not here, it's a mystery. So Kanomono ga ichiban tsuyoku omou mono no sugata o utsushi dase, or show the person she thinks of the most, or she thinks the most dearly about, or she thinks of the most.
歯の者が一番強く思う者の姿を映し出せ。イリュージョン。
Illusion. Let's see. Maho Roshi. Phantom Vision, Illusion, Apparition. Fabled item, mythical thing. Oh, Mabo Roshi.
歯の者が一番強く思う者の姿を映し出せ。黙って見とれ。歯の者が一番強く思う者の姿を映し出せ。イリュージョン。先生。さくら、今や。
Sakura, do it now.
さくら、今や。汝のあるべき姿に戻れ。
Nanji o aru beki sugata ni modore. See, Nanji o aru beki sugata ni modore. So, return to your ideal form. Or more literally, your ideal form, return to. Okay, well.
Nanjiのあるべき姿に戻れ。クローカード。よっしゃ。よっしゃ。
Yosha. Let's see, gotcha. Let's see, already got it. Okay. So I think it's from something. Let's see. What is Yosha from? It's an informal Japanese interjection derived from Yoshi, which means good. All right. Yoshi. Yosha, okay.
よっしゃやりましたわ
Yarimashita wa, or you did it.
よっしゃやりましたわリカちゃんリカちゃん
気を失ってるだけだ。
リカちゃんリカちゃん
気を失ってるだけだ。
リカちゃんリカちゃん
気を失ってる。
Kyo nateru dake da. It's Kyo, no, it's not nateru, it's ushi nateru. So ushinau to lose, to miss, okay, or to lose consciousness in this. Oh, that's right. To losing. That's right. Ushina is just lose, and when you lose your ki or your mind, you're losing consciousness. Kyo ushinateru dake da. So she's just unconscious, and he's using continuous state since she's in the continuous state of being unconscious. Kyo ushinateru dake. With the just coming from the dake.
リカちゃんリカちゃん
気を失ってるだけだ。
Let's see, ushinau, ushinateru, okay.
さくら一人でちゃんとカード捕まえたで
Sakura hitori de chanto kado skamae skamae tate, so skamae tate, or so was able to catch. So Sakura by herself was properly was able to catch the card. In other words, Sakura was able to capture the card by herself.
るだけだ。
さくら一人でちゃんとカード捕まえたで
ソードはくせ者揃いのカードの中じゃ。
捕まえたで
ソードはくせ
Sora wa
者揃いの。
let's see. Demo Zorui no Kado no Nakaja. Let's see. Kusemono Zoroi. What could this word be? Let's see. Kusemono. Ruffian, villain, knave, thief. So bin, music, melody. Composition, injustice, fault, crooked. So Kusemono is villain, thief, okay. And then Zoroi. Explain the grammar of okay, this one says it's Magemono. Let's see. Magemono Zoroi refers to tricky, unpredictable, or hard to handle person or thing. The suffix Zoroi means full of or a group of something, similar to JLPT's into grammar darake. So, something Zoroi means full of tricky, unpredictable things, or a bunch of tricky ones. Let's see. Meaning, among the cards which are full of tricky, unpredictable ones, okay? So, as for the sword, it's a tricky or unpredictable. It possesses, it's tricky and unpredictable. See, no nakaja, okay, means inside or among. See, the particle no links the previous phrase to naka, okay. The Indian ja is a colloquial contraction of dewa, used here to set up a contrast or condition in the midst of. So among the cards, which are full of tricky, unpredictable ones, the sword. He explains Zoroi more, I guess. Explain Zoroi. Let's see. Zoroi is a suffix derived from the verb soro, meaning to be in a row. To be uniform together. When attached to a noun, it indicates that a group consists entirely of, predominantly of, that specific type of person or thing. Core meaning translates to full of or group of. So when attached to a noun, it indicates that a group consists entirely or predominantly of that specific type of person or thing. So full of, a group of, nothing but. It describes a collection where every member shares the same characteristic defined by the preceding noun. So it emphasizes the uniformity or density of the group. Unlike simply saying many, it implies that almost everyone or everything in that context fits that description. See, Zoroi focus on people items making up the group. Let's see. Dareke focuses on the state of being covered or riddled with something. Connotation often neutral, slightly negative. See, Zoroi often neutral, slightly negative, positive depending on the noun. Can imply an impressive gathering or troublesome crowd. While Dareke strongly negative, used for mistakes, dirt, blood, or unwanted things, e.g. Okay. Machigai Dareke, full of mistakes. Let's see. Is that Magemono Zoroi or Kusemono Zoroi Zoroi. Kuse used in Kusemono means eccentric, tricky, unpredictable person thing. The reading comes from the idea of a bent or twisted nature personality. Mage is used for words like magemono, which refers to traditional bent wood craft, or simply the verb to bend. Okay, so kusemono, tricky thing, is what it should be. Let's get an explanation of what they were saying with darake. Darake. Noun, full of. Let's see, what is the origin of darake? Connections to the verb darakeru. The most common theory associates darake from darakeru, which means to become relaxed, to slacken, to become flabby, to lose tension. Logic. The connection suggests that darake originally describes a state where things had spread out, accumulated, or hung loosely in a disorganized, messy manner. This aligns with the modern usage of darake to describe something as riddled with or covered in undesirable things, mistakes, dirt, holes, in a way that implies a lack of order or control. So noun used as suffix, what zoroi is so soro wa kusemono zoroi no kado. So a full of tricks card. No naka. It has, so the sword card is full of tricks, I guess. So among all the tricky cards, the swords is a tough one. So Soto let's see. So I think he's trying to say that the sword is one of many cards full of tricks or something like that. Soto wa kusemono. Soto wa kusemono zoroi no kado no naka nakaja. Okay, Soto wa kusemono zoroi no kado no naka ja.
カード捕まえたで。
ソードはくせ者揃いのカードの中じゃまだ扱いやすい方だ。
さくら一人でちゃんとカード捕まえたで。
ソードはくせ者揃いのカードの中じゃまだ扱いやすい方だ。ソードはくせ者揃いのカードの中じゃまだ扱いやすい方だ。
さくら一人でちゃんとカード捕まえたで。
ソードはくせ者揃いのカードの中じゃまだ。
This might give a little more context to what was being said in the previous sentence. Let's see. Mara, let's see. Atsukai Yasui. Atsukai Yasui. I had to manageable, easy to care for, easy to deal with. So easy to deal with direction, so in other words, okay, I think it's trying to say, let's see, as for the sword, there are many cards with tricks, but swords are rather easy to deal with one. So let's see, among all the tricky cards, the sword is actually one of the easier ones to handle. Soto wa. So yeah, ja comes from dewa. So as for the sword, see, be to explain the grammar of Chikaro no Nakaja means in or among. The dead particle indicates the scope of the comparison that has been contracted to ja in casual speech. Therefore, this sets the comparison group as among the cards. So Kado is card. So kado no naka is among the cards. So in the cards, or in other words, among the cards. Soro wa kusemono. Okay, soro wa, let's see, kusomono zorai no kado no naka. So among the tricky cards. So as for the sword, among the tricky cards, it's manageable direction. In other words, the sword's manageable or easy compared to the tricky cards. Atsukai Yasui, manageable, easy to care for, easy to deal with. So, Soro wa kusemono zorai no kado no naka de wa mada atsukai yasai ho da.
ソードはくせ者揃いのカードの中じゃまだ扱いやすい方だ。
なん
扱いやすい方だ。
Nanya te, or what did you say? Explain the grammar of Nanya te. It is a concept dialect Osaka an expression that combines interrogative nanya and the quotative emphatic particle te. Okay. Let's see. In concept dialect, this particle is used to repeat or confirm what someone just said. Okay, nanya te. So why isn't it sute? Let's see, this is not standard Japanese. In standard Japanese, you would say nante itano or nan desu ka. So why is it not nanyate, I guess, because it's Kansai Ben, but the form nanyate is preferred over nanyate due to the phonetic contraction and a dialectal particle rule specific to Kansai speech. The contraction of te sute. Okay, in standard Japanese, the quotative particle to or the casual contraction sute. Okay, standard nandate or nandeste. Kansai logic, the copula da becomes ya, and theoretically, date becomes yate. However, in rapid Kansai speech, the double T sound in yate is often simplified to a single te. And attached to nanya. The sequence of nanyate naturally flows into nayate because the preceding vowel a in ya merges the particle, dropping the geminate double consonant for smoother pronunciation. Okay. So nanyate, what did you say? 質問がありますか? Are there any questions? We're gonna raid Kanade for the first raid. See, for the second raid, we're gonna raid Maximum Midnight. He's currently studying Japanese, and for the third raid, we're going to raid Deadshot SV, who's currently playing Path of Exiles. So, 皆さん、お気をつけて。また明日。Goodbye everyone. See you tomorrow.